Yay, yay, yay. We're back for another Knowing You show. My name is Tiffany Cano. I love interviewing highly sensitive, intuitive, healing folks within our community so that everyone can bring forth their gifts and their skills and learn and grow and be healed and supported by one another. So today I have Katja Rasmussen with me, and she is awesome. I met her at a JV event a couple years ago, and we've been friends ever since then. And we have a resonance. So let me tell you a little bit about Katja. Okay. So she is the #1 best-selling author, spiritual mentor, success coach, and creator of the Client Attraction Story System, a step-by-step program for purpose-driven entrepreneurs to craft stories that sell with like a dollar sign. I added that. Although I'm sure she doesn't have the dollar sign over there in Europe. She probably has some other euro sign. After working as a supervisor in one of the world's leading business banks, she obtained 2 master's degrees in spiritual psychology and spiritual science. Now, I know at least the spiritual psychology was here in California at in Santa Monica, right? University of Santa Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people who are into training there. So that's awesome. She now has dedicated her life to helping clients discover the power of personal stories and create a business that they love. So that's Katja. Yay!
Thank you for having me here, Tiffany. It's so wonderful to be here and just be connected with you, because I remember you at this first event we met. We sat on the same table and there was so much joy in you. And I was like, I need to talk with that lady. Like, I just need to talk with her. Just uplifted the whole room. I was like, all right, I need to talk to her more and find out what she's doing. And here we are now, a couple of years later, still connected, still working and supporting each other.
Yes. And I know that you help entrepreneurs with their purpose and their passion and telling their stories. So I find it fascinating, and I love the topic and theme. So I know that you're a best-selling author. Can you tell me a little bit about your book?
Yes, it's called Teach Your Expertise. It is a compilation of 20 entrepreneurs sharing our journey in creating a online program and sharing that way our expertise. And of course, we are sharing also our stories, how we ended up doing what we do, and then the journey, how to share the gifts that we have with the world. And that's been such an inspiring book. So if you are considering if you have the calling, like maybe I have something that I'd love to share with the world, this book is for you, because it gives practical wisdom. Like, we share our insights, what worked, what didn't work, and how we worked through things while we were creating those programs. So that we just want to share all that with you so that you can get your expertise out there in the world as well. So it just came out, so you can find it on Amazon if you just search Teach Your Expertise.
Nice. That's wonderful. Thank you. And I know you also do a lot of work around stories. Yeah. Why do you find that that's important?
I believe that the story has the power to connect. We want to also know the people. If we are there in the world, we are used to remember stories. We remember those stories that people share. And if you're an entrepreneur, that is one way to create the connection build credibility and trust with your ideal clients, because they get to know you. They get to know you why you are doing what you are doing, because there are many people doing the similar things, but your story is the thing that makes you stand out from the crowd. And sometimes it is also sharing the journey that maybe is similar what your ideal clients might be going through, so they can recognize themselves like one part of your journey, like, that sounds familiar, that sounds exactly where I'm right now. And then they see you finding a way through your own story, through your own experience, finding a way through a challenging experience and finding a solution. And then they can be like, maybe that work for me too. And that way you can also inspire others. So that's why I'm always so fascinated with the stories. And I always ask people when they share their work, like, what led you to do what you do? Because I love those stories.
Mhm. So, what is your story in a nutshell?
Wow, that's a good question, because it is so funny. Like, universe has a sense of humor. I actually was hiding my story for 15 years. So now I'm then sharing others and telling them, let's share their story, because I was first hiding it. Because when I was a teenager, and this comes very short story, I'm actually sharing it in the Teach Your Expertise book with more lengthy way. But just when I was growing up as a teenager, I went through a tragic loss. My boyfriend at that time took his own life, and that
Oh.
led me to very, very dark place for a long time, like for years. And I started finding my reason to live and reason, like, why I'm here. That was all my question, was always why, and why this, why that, why this had to happen to me. And I started seeking answers, and I couldn't find them anywhere else than spirituality. Like, that
Mhm.
started, like, I started finding like Buddhist teachings. They had this saying life like life is suffering. Of course, back then I was like, okay, they get this, like, life is suffering. I kind of misinterpreted the meaning of that, but that kind of led me study more Buddhism, and then that led me to study other spiritual teachers too. And that way I started seeing these sparks of light here and there that kept me going and finding my way through that grief, through that depression, through all that darkness that I was experiencing within. And then came a day when I was ready to start writing about it, because somebody asked me, why don't you write? And I
Mhm.
didn't come up with good enough excuse. So I heard myself saying, like, yes, because this conversation was in Spanish. So I was like, well, yes, I will. And I did keep that promise. That night I went home, I started writing. That became my first novel, a voice fictional novel about what went through. Like, it was a healing journey for me to create this fictional story. And and that way I then gained the courage afterwards to start sharing about them, my story. And what happened then when I opened the door to share, I felt that I created connection that I hadn't had before. I had always felt that this hidden story was like a secret that I was carrying around, and like I was hiding it and blocking part of me from people. And I felt that they sensed it there. I felt always like the connection wasn't full connection. There was always something between. And it was this hidden story. Because once I started sharing it, I felt that I was so much more open, and I felt the connection. And also, another magic that started happening when I had the courage to share, it opened the door for other people as well to share their journey and their experiences. It felt like they gained also the courage then to share when I shared. And that all
Mhm.
happens for many of us with the stories. When we have the
Mhm.
courage to share our transformational journey, it opens
And
up for others too.
how healing was that for you just to be able to actually share that? And by the way, I'm so sorry that your boyfriend committed suicide when you were in high school. I mean, that can be extremely traumatizing.
Mm.
So I'm sorry for your loss there. And I'm also glad that you've taken the gift out of this tragic situation and made something good with it.
Thank you. And yes, that was many years I felt like life happened to me.
Mhm.
Then with the healing journey, and this is why I share with my clients as well, when we start seeing the growth and learning what came from those events that we had to go through, then we start shifting towards the life happened for me.
Mhm.
Then it's time to start sharing, because we can share as a healing perspective, like expression is healing. But
Mhm.
when we are sharing our stories as entrepreneurs, we often want to be in this place where life happened for us, and then we can also help others. So it's healing ourselves and then helping others on that journey.
Wonderful. And what would you uh, like, how do people share their stories? I mean, is this do they have to write a book? Is this verbally just like talking to a friend or a counselor or a therapist to share their stories? Like give me a little bit more insight on that part, please.
All those ways. Like there are so many ways how we can share our stories. And we have also many, many stories that we can share. But then if we are entrepreneurs, then we might consider what is the story that we want to share, that it makes also sense what we are offering. So we can share our stories through writing. That's how I started. That was the easiest one for me. And then the other way is to we can speak about it, or we can create something like a song. We can create something meaningful contribution around what happened, or painting. So there is so many ways to share our story. So you just need to find out the way that resonates with you and start from there. And then it might evolve. Like in my case, it did. Like from writing, now I'm speaking and feeling comfortable to speak about my story, which like let me take me 15 years ago. Could not dream about it. Like one day I can talk about it in this kind of like with audience online, sharing the journey. So I just want to say it's possible. It's possible to come to the place. Of course, I have done healing work, but that's available for all of us. If we have the will, there is a way.
Mhm. I found that when I've written down my own story as a avenue of emoting, like
Mm.
I'll write it down and most of the time it's just for me. It's like me and God. Okay, and I'm writing it down, and sometimes I even like do a ritual where I'm praying, I'm writing it, I'm burning it, like offering it to the fire to like disintegrate this story. Like sometimes I find that that's extremely healing. What do
Yes.
you what do you think about that method?
I love that because that's the healing journey. If somebody finds themselves, okay, I'm still healing, sometimes that knowing that nobody will read this gives the
Mhm,
permission to really truly share those feelings, those emotions, those thoughts,
mhm,
put it on a paper, knowing that you just will destroy it afterwards so you can express freely. And
mhm,
that freedom of expression is very, very healing. So thank you, Tiffany, for sharing your
mhm.
own method, because I feel that is super powerful.
And talk to me about like one of the most courageous things you've ever done in your life.
Oh, wow. Courageous things. Yes. Since I shared my journey, my hidden story, I think one of the most courageous things on those moments was to continue living when I wanted to die. So that back then was a choice that I made, and it felt like I don't see tomorrow, but I am choosing life.
Mm.
And that I'm so grateful now that I did make that choice, that I did say yes to life and give life another day and then another day and another day. And that led me here. And I'm just that there is such a gratitude towards that young 16-year-old who was grieving and yet made that choice to stay here and continue my life. So I feel that definitely was the most courageous thing that I did.
Mm. Beautiful. Yeah, I can definitely see that taking a lot of courage
Mm,
when there's that much heaviness and darkness. And I've noticed that even today, like the stats of suicides have been up
mm,
since COVID and economy and all these political and social strife and all of these things have been happening. I've actually read that suicide's been on the rise, which is a bummer, you know? Maybe if they had more access to le- feeling safe enough to even be with their feelings, be with their story, that
mm.
just the being able to be with it and not resist it and judge it and hate it and, want to fight with it could be so empowering.
Yes. And
Yeah.
it is very challenging times for many, and it is. I just today said in my Facebook group, like it takes courage to believe in your dreams during these times. It takes courage to really truly believe because there is so much uncertainty going on now. Like so many things we don't know, and like the standard, the normal life has kind of gone out from the window. Like now we don't know. It's this extraordinary times that we are going through. So now it takes courage to believe and courage to like dream and courage to say, yes, I'm going for my dreams. And that is also like, how can we do that? And how can we support each others here? That the thing that also I want to share is always like back then I felt really lonely sometimes. I felt that I am the only one who has gone through something like that. And that is part of the my why I'm sharing my story is to hopefully be a spark of light to somebody and hopefully give some inspiration that there can be better days ahead and just be a spark of light because there was people for me who just gave me the hope and just support, and we all can be there for each others and just support each others on the way here.
Hmm. Beautifully said. And how how can people activate their own courage? I know you've got a 5-day free challenge coming up around this topic. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, because I have discovered that courage is such an essential element. It is the virtue we all do need, whether it comes to profession or personal life. It takes courage, as I mentioned, courage to dream, courage to take action. If you're an entrepreneur, it takes courage to do Facebook Lives. It takes courage to make offers, put your like products and services out online and share what you do. It takes courage to do all that and more, and we all have also like different levels of courage. So I put together this challenge just to support you. And during this 5-day courage activation that we're going to do in the loving group that inspires you and supports you and uplifts you. So we're going to go through 5 days, which is different themes. I will do a short videos for each day. And one of the days there, I'm going to share 3 questions that you can ask yourself that give you access to instant courage. What you need if there is opportunities knocking your door. So are you going to say yes? So you can ask these questions to just activate the courage within. And also I share there the number 1 choice that you can make to feel and take those steps forward to be successful and courageous and go after your dreams. So those are part of the things that are happening within the courage activation. So as the name says, it is activating the courage within you that you already have, but we just bring it forward.
Nice. I went ahead and I put the URL for that here at the bottom of the video so that you can go there and access that for yourself. And is this courage activation only for entrepreneurs, or can anybody do it?
Well, anybody can do it. I will talk some business context there. It is aimed for spiritual entrepreneurs because they often need the courage to share their gifts in the world. But I feel like you can apply to any situations the teachings from the courage activation. So even if you're an entrepreneur, if you feel that you want to just get the boost of courage, you can join. I'd love to have you there.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Katja, for coming on today. And I'm sure it's probably like 10 at night or something over there. So thanks for joining me. Is there any final words you want to share with us before we close up?
Yes, let me just tune in and just like what I want to share is that the courage is already within you. And this is just opening the door for you to feel it even more. So you can open that door for your dreams and walk through that door and start really, truly, graciously stepping up, speaking up, and going after the life that you want and that is meant for you. Because it is time for us to stop hiding and playing small, because you have been given a gift, you have been given a purpose. So now it's time to just say yes to your purpose and take action.
Fantastic. Love it. I'm a yes to that. That is, without courage, there is no way I would be doing this live streaming show. There's no way I would be doing my Soul of an Empath podcast that, I launched last month, or teaching, or, putting myself out there in these ways. So I think that, being able to tap in and even strengthen that courage is a really important thing. So check out Katja's 5-day challenge. It's free. Just go to that link and sign up. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day and week. God bless. Bye for now.